It is 5 Friday feedback. Viewer mailbag time.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Alrighty. Should I leave my job that I don't like, but the money is really good? Mm-hmm. That is today's letter. And I'm excited for this one. I've read through it. It's going to be a great one. Dear Fi Guys, I'm so glad I found you two. I hope you guys can help me out. That's what we're here for.
Me too.
Me too. I've been contemplating a significant decision in my life, and I wanted to share my thoughts and seek your advice from someone I trust.
I trust you too.
I trust you too. Exactly. I'm currently in my late 20s working a job that brings me a substantial income of $225,000 per year.
Dang, good for you.
That's good cheddar.
Yeah, some good cheddar.
Good cheddar. With the potential, hold your seats, with the potential to surpass $500,000 in the next 5 years.
Damn.
You can let go.
Okay.
I find myself in a dilemma, though, torn between financial security and personal fulfillment. We know where this is going.
Yep, I do.
The truth is, I don't enjoy my current job.
And there it is.
It's stressful, heavily focused on sales, and the interpersonal dynamics can be quite challenging. The only reason I continue to endure this professional strain is the attractive financial compensation it provides, especially for someone in their late 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
You don't find that high level paying very often.
No, that's definitely a dime a dozen. So, yeah.
Here's where the crossroads appear. On one hand, I could continue down this path, grind out the next 2 decades. It's a long 20 years. It's a long time, and potentially retire early with significant sum of money. The downside, I foresee a long stretch of unhappiness as the cost of staying at a job I dislike. On the other hand, there is an option to transition into a job that aligns with my passions. Ayo, alrighty. However, this alternative comes with a big financial sacrifice. Mm-hmm. A job that will only yield 20% of my current income. So is that like $50,000?
$50,000. I wonder what his passions are.
Yeah,
that's okay. Maybe get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into it. When it offers, while it offers the promise of enjoying my work every day, it comes with an expense of a less extravagant lifestyle and a longer retirement horizon, possibly 30 years.
What? Hold on.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yep. We'll get into it.
We'll get into that.
I grew up in a frugal household, like most of America. Mm-hmm. But my current lifestyle has developed a taste for non-frugal indulgences.
Lifestyle creep coming in.
Yes, sir. If I opt for the second path, adapting a more modest lifestyle will be challenging.
I imagine so.
Yes, sir. As I weigh these options, I find myself torn between financial security and personal happiness. I know there's no one-size-fits-all answer, but I value your insights and perspective. Have you faced a similar crossroad in your life? And if so, what considerations guided your decision in the decision-making process? Thank you for taking the time to read through my thoughts. Your wisdom means a lot to me, and I look forward to hearing everything on this matter. From I'm in the grind and the gold does gleam, chasing wealth or chasing my dreams.
Okay.
Interesting. I like the rhyme.
Yeah, I like the rime a lot. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. Thank you for the rhyme. Hope you enjoyed today's podcast. No. Let's get into this.
Yeah. So there's a few different things here. He's got a great job.
Great job.
Well, I mean,
depending on where you're living,
the income is a great. The income is. He doesn't have a great job. The income is great.
The income is great. I'm curious. I really wish he would have mentioned this in his description. Where does he live?
That's true.
Because $250 where we live, that's a great living. But $250, say maybe like in New York or like one of those higher cost of living, that might be like the average or minimum. Or
not average still. Like $250 is going to be
still really good.
Huge. Really good. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like compared to like Topeka, Kansas versus like New York, Southern California, but $250 is still a very good amount of money, regardless of where you are.
Okay, that's good.
With the potential for $500,000 is going to be even better, regardless of where you are.
That's good buckaroos.
So he's trying to figure out like, should I leave my job? There's some math in here that was a little weird. A
little bit.
Because he said like it's either I grind this job that's making basically call it $500,000 for 20 years, or I take an 80% haircut, get a job that's $50,000, but now I'll have to do that for 30 years. Not sure where that's going.
And that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense to me. At all. The other thing he talked about was the lifestyle inflation.
Yeah.
So
that's a big problem in America.
That's kind of those hidden things. So let's take this part by part. So glad that you wrote in, because I have been in this exact situation.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes.
Making a good amount of money and saying like, and hating life, but sticking with it because like the money's good and you're told like you're supposed to make a lot of money and that's the way you achieve happiness.
It's like, how could you give up on this? You know how many people would kill to have this opportunity?
Yep.
That whole type of vibe.
That whole vibe. And you think like, well, I'm not like, I'm wealthy in terms of I have a lot of money, but like I'm not wealthy in I don't have like
life.
good work-life balance.
Yeah.
I don't love what I do. I kind of hate every day. There's times when I'm sitting in my closet getting dressed where I'm like, am I sick? I think I'm sick. I don't really want to go to work today.
Yes.
I've been there. And it's not a fun place to be.
No.
So a few different things I'm thinking of. First thing I want you to do is reflect on your long-term happiness. Like, what is your goal here? Is the goal to achieve financial independence so that we can be happy? Because what I can tell you there is once you achieve that level of financial independence, like you're not going to be happy. We need to start focus on happiness right now.
Yes.
And you're thinking very, very black and white in that it's either I stay with this company or I take this other job, as if there are no other jobs in between. $50,000, $250,000 is a huge spread.
Huge spread.
With so many different jobs that you could select in there. I don't understand where he's coming from there.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm thinking is he's saying, so let's say in a few years he's making $500,000. Why does he need to work for 20 years?
Dude, you could retire. It depends on how much you want for retirement, how you want to live in retirement. Because again, the lifestyle inflation is still there once you retire.
Yep.
So you got to be careful with that.
Yep. So that's why the next thing I'm going to say is you need to evaluate your current lifestyle and either get it under control or keep it under control to where it is.
Yeah.
Because the biggest thing, like we've talked about lifestyle inflation so much in the hedonic treadmill, is you keep on adding more and more, and that just becomes a part of your life, and you can't unsee your life with those things. It becomes so difficult, and that's why I always say you must be relentless at what you add to your fixed cost.
Yeah.
Because once you see something in your life, it becomes very difficult to unsee it. Example for me is we now have a car detailer that comes once a month and cleans both my wife's and my car, and he just came yesterday, and my cars look immaculate. But
That thing's shiny.
everything's so shiny and it smells so good. But before that, my entire life, I've always washed my own cars. And it was something that gave me like joy when I saw the car clean and like I knew that I did that. But now I don't have to spend time to do it. I just pay somebody, and it's a good amount of money to have someone come to your house and do that. And now, if someone's be like, "Hey, Chris, I need you to start washing your car again," it's gonna be like, "Oh, but I don't want to." Like,
Yeah.
I can't unsee that.
You're adding more troubles into your life.
Yep.
Where it solved the problem. Now I got to put the problem back.
Yep, I got to put the problem back, and like I've gotten used to this level of lifestyle. If I've never tried Kentucky Fried Chicken, I do not miss Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I like KFC.
I like Jay Cutler's thought on that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I think you really got to get control into that. Like you lived in, so think back. You grew up in a frugal household. You knew what that life was like. Was it terrible? Probably not. I mean, it probably wasn't amazing, but I'm sure if you're making 250 now, you have really inflated your lifestyle quite a bit. So is there a middle ground that we can find a place that we're between the frugal living and between the current lifestyle that you might be living now? My biggest fear is that as your income, if you do to choose to stay at this job, as your income rises from 250, it doubles to $500,000, your expenses increase from 250 to $500,000.
Yeah.
And now we are sticking in this treadmill forever, and there is no escape.
Now you can't escape. No. Yeah, one thing that I was thinking about when I was going over this notes before the podcast was if he wants to go towards the happiness route more for the $50,000 job, he should start living like he already has the $50,000 job. And it's like, oh, I have a $1,000 gym membership with a personal trainer. It's like, well, that's going to happen.
That's gone.
That's gone. So can you live without that? Can you live without shopping at the most, like Whole Foods, stuff like that, and start shopping at not discount, but I'm just like a regular grocery store, something not as expensive, and start cutting back on like his subscriptions. Can you even afford to live at that $50,000 level?
And that's why I'm saying like that's why the first two things are reflect on your happiness and then figure out or keep your lifestyle under control. Because him saying, oh, I can just take this other job and actually be happy. If he's currently living on, even $200,000, let's just say he makes $250.
Yeah.
We're going to take off some taxes. So he's making $200.
Sure.
Let's say he's living on half of that.
Yeah.
He's living only on $100. He's saving $100,000. You're doing a great job if that's the case.
Yeah.
But now your thought is, I'm going to take a job that pays $50, but I'm used to $100,000. You still need to cut your life by half in order to even consider the option of taking that $50,000 job.
Yeah. And if you're cutting that much, I'm not saying like you shouldn't go towards a happy job. Like that's not what I'm saying at all. But if you're going towards the $50,000 job and the luxuries that you enjoy, it's like, okay, you have a job that you don't like and things that you do like outside of it. And now you're just going to switch. You have a job that you do like and nothing to do outside. You don't have the, the expensive luxuries that you once had. So it's like, it's the same fight, just on different hands.
Yeah, remember that grass is always may not be as green as you think it is, but this is the balance, right? And these are the things that we're not gonna. I don't know what the answer is for you, right? I'm just gonna tell you what I think through. So the next option I want you to do is assess your job opportunities, because you've given us a wild range of it's either I stay in this job or I take this other job that is 20% of the current job. I'm sure that you have built up some amazing skills at your current job. Like you have a great job.
Yeah,
it sounds like you're in sales. So you're clearly doing something right. I don't understand why it's either this sounds like kind of an entry level job or this one.
Yeah.
We can there's somewhere in the middle that we can follow that maybe you can find happiness in that's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. 100%, 100%. And if it is sales, I mean, you can take that experience anywhere.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny. We talked a little bit about this situation before the podcast, kind of getting our notes ready. And one thing that you said that really stuck out to me was, how are the people who run the company? If you don't want to be like them, then, that's kind of a forecast of what you're going to kind of turn into.
Yeah.
You experienced that with the job that you were referencing when you were younger, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that's so important, is seeking the mentorship, right? And so many people think like, oh, if I get a mentor, they're going to teach me how to live. But what I've learned more from mentors than them teaching me how to be a better whatever I am, it's what I don't want in my life. Because there's so many mentors who might be really, really good at their job. They make a lot of money. They're the best marketer, whatever, but they have zero relationship with their kids.
Yeah.
Or like
unhealthy.
Yeah, I think the worst thing is that you come home after working for so long with a pocket full of money to strangers at home.
That's horrible.
And you see that very often. So sometimes like with a job like that sounds like, I don't know what he does for work, but I'm envisioning, what I envision is one of those like kind of like a broker job, or, you're working something in finance.
There's only so many jobs you can make that much money.
Yeah.
You double it like that.
Yeah. So I'm guessing he's in one of these jobs, and unfortunately a lot of these guys, they're making or guys and gals are making a lot of money, but their health is suffering, their relationships are suffering, all these things. So you might be wealthy in one part. And unfortunately, that's the part that a lot of people go towards, is making money because it's quantifiable.
Yes, sir.
I am doing this good. Quantifiable. Yeah. Versus like, you can't quantify how good your relationships are. No. You can somewhat quantify your health, but like not really as well. You like really can't quantify like how much your kids love you, like how you're going to be remembered.
That's a long term. Yeah.
Those are long-term investments.
Yeah. 100%. No, I 100% agree. Yeah. This is a tough situation to be in.
It is. But this is super tough, but I've been here before, but these are some things I want you to think about. Jobs like this are a dime a dozen. And you're thinking about it as it's either I stay or I go. Like, can we set up a 5-year exit strategy? Can we stay with this like job where like maybe I'm not happy for right now, but like I can set myself up to be good for the rest of my life if I kind of grind through it? Yeah. If me saying that though is like, I don't know if I can make it 5 more years, then it sounds like we have our answer. Like you have to go the opposite way, but know what you're sacrificing to do that. Yeah. 100%. And that's okay. Yeah. But I've been here before, and I'll tell you, as far as I know, we only have this one life. Yes. Like, so you're young, you have a lot of life to still live after this, but like you could get hit by a bus tomorrow. So what are you going to want to remember? And that's something I credit my wife with the most in my life, is giving me that ability to both plan for the future while living for today. So that's something that you're gonna have to figure out for yourself. What do you want to do? I've had this job where I've stayed with it. I'm coming kind of guessing exact kind of job. Yeah. And I chose to leave it behind. And that was a really tough decision. I remember having the conversation with my boss at the time. He was like, this is not a job that people leave. Yeah. Like, do you know who we are? And I was like, do you know that I don't need you anymore? Yeah. Because I focused on cutting my expenses down to such a level that I could leave and be okay with that. And I've sacrificed having the amazing life where you're constantly getting to like go and travel and do all these things, to have all the trappings of wealth, for having what I believe to be true wealth of having autonomy of my time.
100%. And it's one of those scary things where you might stay there longer than you need to be just because you're trapped in a place in your own mind. And I think that's really important to think about, because, the pain that you're in, it's in the mind, but it's also like you're keeping yourself there.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the one. It's called in financial independence. It's called the 1 more year syndrome. So like, I have this much money. Like, I need $1 million. This is kind of easy. I need $1 million to retire, or to become myself financially independent and stop working. Well, you hit that $1 million, and you think that the feeling of not enoughness is going to go away, but it's a feeling that is never going to go away unless you start to consciously work on it every single day. That's why people think like, oh, if I get this, if I hit this magic number in my bank account, I'm finally going to feel happy. I'm going to feel like the way that I want to feel about myself, the way that I think millionaires feel about themselves.
Yeah.
And then you get there, you're like, oh, wait, I don't feel that way because you never worked on it. And now you think, oh, it's because I need $2 million. And you get to $2 million. It's because I need
feeling.
4.
Yeah.
It's because I need 16. And this path keeps on moving and moving and moving. And that's something you have to figure out for yourself, honestly.
Yeah. I think that one of the greatest strategies you can have, not strategies, but skills you can have in your life when it comes to finance is knowing when enough is enough.
Yep. You got to know what is enough. And you know, I've shared that that story of Alexander the Great and Diogenes, of like, do you want to be Alexander who conquers the world, or do you want to be Diogenes who has conquered the need to conquer the world?
Exactly.
And that's the way I kind of look at it is,
He conquered himself.
yep, he conquered himself. He doesn't need to continue to seek more.
No.
Because he's happy with what he currently has. And whatever that is for you, that's great. It's really just explore that. But I would say, from my standpoint, not really knowing anything about what you do, is you have the ability to have your cake and kind of eat it too. And that you might have to suffer a little bit longer, but you can set yourself up for financial independence very, very young. But we need to get this lifestyle inflation. You know, basically you said that you've acquired a taste for the finer things in life.
Yes.
And, you know, if that's what you want to do, that's fine, but you're going to need to make sure you have a job that can sustain that. Or can we tear that down just a little bit, still have a finer taste for the better things, but not so much that we need to have a $500,000 job in order to have that.
100%.
Always trade-offs.
Yeah. There's trade-offs in everything. You know, it's give and take. It's give and take for sure.
Yeah, but if this was me, I would probably stay in the job a little bit longer. This is what I did. I stayed in the job long enough to reach a level of financial independence that I was comfortable enough taking a step back, making substantially less money to pursue something that I liked, knowing that I came to it from a position of power. And I'll tell you that the job that I found that I did like, I liked it for so long. And then it was like, okay, this isn't lighting me up anymore. So I left again because I had, again, the money to do so. And it gave me options to allow me to start this company and start the podcast, do everything that we're doing now, like living the most incredible life, because I set myself up at the beginning to be able to do so.
Yeah.
But I can even tell you that, like, I kind of wish that I would have lived more like then and not saved so much.
Interesting.
So no matter what, we only know the way that history did work.
Yeah. Yeah. We can't
go back and change it.
You know, we can't connect the dots looking forward, but we can looking back.
Yep.
You know, and you love your life now.
Super cool.
It's super awesome. You know, you travel, you have control of your free time, you make great money, you have a wonderful family, you know, and who knows what your life would have looked like if you were too scared to make the jump and take control of your own life.
And I can tell you, it's terrifying.
Very terrifying.
It's everything's scary, and even now, it doesn't get easy. Like, it's not always easy. So don't think that, like, once you hit some certain level of financial independence, like, money never becomes an issue and nothing becomes an issue, because everyone struggles. Just everyone struggles in different ways.
Yes.
But I will always say having more money is better than having less money.
That's true.
It just is.
It just makes things easier.
It just is.
Yeah. So I hope that helped you.
Yep.
Good luck.
And if you do want to, like, actually, like, talk about it from, like, a financial standpoint of, like, how can I do this, you can always reach out to me, Chris@monzonwealth.com. You can always go to Monzon Wealth, just Google it, MONZON Wealth, and you know, I'm here for you. You know, we can just at least have a conversation at first to see if that works. You know, we have your contact info. You have my contact info.
This video podcast is sponsored by Monzon Wealth. The content in this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. We do not endorse specific products or services. Past performance does not guarantee future results. The opinions expressed are those of the host and guests, not the podcast sponsor. It is crucial to consult with a qualified financial advisor or professional who can provide advice tailored to your specific needs before making any financial decisions, investments, or taking any other actions. If you are seeking specified help, you can reach out to Chris at monzonwealth.com.